Welcome everybody to Matt Bayersky YouTube channel, where we're heavily censored channel, but still we keep going, we keep standing strong, we keep sharing the truth, our truth. What is the truth? It's an interesting question. Yeah, when does scripture actually become truth? At what point? I was thinking that the other day. Reality of truth. What is the truth? I mean, you look at all the scriptures, right? You look at all the ancient texts, biblical texts, and who is genuine? Who was real? Like, Muhammad, was there Muhammad? Yes, he had a friend, and like, okay, what about Jesus? Yeah, Jesus is like. And then what about Lemuria? And what about, where does it become fact and just stories? What line do you draw? When was the last evidence ever given? Like, 1888, when the first ever real film ever happened. So you've got film fact because it's on film, and so on. Just find it interesting with religion. It's like, it's all faith-based, right? We don't really know anything. The only thing we do know is that when we wake up in the morning, we look at ourselves and see if we feel healthy in mind, body, and spirit. That's really the only thing that we know is real, that we can say is a fact of ourselves. And the daily practices that we do, meeting people, these are factual in our life. Everything else is just speculation, and it's all by interpretation. So I know a guy called John in the village, right? And he seems pleasant enough. I always say hello to him every morning. And, how you doing, John? Yeah, all right, pal. All right. And when I sit and talk to people, I say, I know a guy called John. He's really nice. Would you write that down? Write about John. Okay, I'll write about John. Well, I see John every morning, and he walks his dog. He's got a little white dog. He's really nice. He's always pleasant, always says hello. Okay, so that's my biblical text. I've wrote that by Matt Bayersky. Okay, so I met somebody the other day in the village. Juan says, you know the guy with the white dog? I said, yeah. He says, not a nice guy. I said, oh, why is it? Write it down. Write it down. Okay, I'll write it down. Juan says, no, I don't like him. He's a very nasty man. I have a dog, and his dog always tries to bite my dog. I don't like him, and he gets angry and starts shouting at me. Okay, so, all right, we got two stories now conflicting. Is he a nice guy or isn't he a nice guy? My point being is, nobody knows anybody in the sense that you know them fully. You don't know me fully. You don't know what I'm like. You might see me on the videos, but you don't know the other side to me. The shill side, the gatekeeper side, because I'm just on Iconic today. What I'm saying is, nobody really knows somebody fully. I don't even think you know your partner fully. I mean, I've been with two women in my life where I've lived with them for a long time. I didn't really know them. I thought I knew them until something happened. Then we split up. And then, like, you don't know anybody. Why? Well, spiritually speaking, when you step out of that, you realize that people change. And it is dangerous when you say to somebody, oh, don't ever change. It's dangerous, that, because they should change. We should always change. And the day you stop changing, you stay as you are, is the day that you grow old and die. And that's not good. You keep, you change, you adapt, you have different thoughts and feelings. So the guy called Jesus, did he exist? Was he in this world? Well, I like to think of a man which I would consider to be a healer. I think there's a lot of healers in this world, good people. There's a lot of good people in this world that want to help people. And, there might be stories of people that say that Jesus was this, and then another story that says Jesus was that, and another story that says that there was no such thing as Jesus at all, because everything that was interpreted about Jesus has been said 13 times prior. Well, 12 times plus his. Exactly the same, a baby in a manger, given birth from a woman who was a virgin, all said before in other texts, well before, 12 other times in other different ancient texts. So, like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But to some, that would be kind of balanced, and to others that would be, heresy. Like stone the man, stone him. So it's there's only two things that I find fascinating in this world when it comes to the behavior of humanity, and that is religion and politics. Those two things fascinate me because people will die for that. People will kill for that. Right? That's kind of scary. Doesn't it make you want to think, I don't want anything to do with either of them? That's how I feel. Don't talk to me about religion, because I know if I say the wrong thing, you are going to hate me. You're going to kill me, depending on how much you are. Well, there's two words for it. One is committed to it, and the other one is brainwashed. Basically, you're so brainwashed that you will defend it till your last breath. It's incredible. Why would anybody, imagine about 1,000 years from now, and there was some text about me saying he was a healer. Can you imagine how I would feel looking down, seeing people killing each other for the sake of me being real or not? I couldn't give a shit whether I'm real or not. Why would you kill somebody else in my name? Why would you what is that about? If a good person does good things, why would somebody want to believe in that person and do bad things? Makes no sense. Unless, of course, you start to realize that maybe it's all been hijacked, and it's been hijacked by those that use this as an absolute tool to be able to cause the greatest harm to, whether it's other countries, whether it's friends and family, whether it's complete strangers. A great tool. How dare you speak of Muhammad? How dare you speak of Joshua? How dare you speak of my God is bigger than yours, and now we're going to kill you? Hang on a minute. I actually don't think it's about Muhammad. I don't think it's about any of your gods. I think it's about you. I think you are evil, and you've jumped on board of something that basically you can use as a shield, or you can use as a cloth to hide your evilness. I think you are more on the side of satanic abuse. You are of the world, the spirit world that I call the evil spirit world. You come from the evil spirit world, but you realize that you can't do your evil by just doing evil, because you're going to be locked up for it. But if you now claim to be a devout whatever religion, then you can use that as a driving force to be the person that you truly are. You see, good people who believe in religion do good things, and that's all they ever do, kind and good things. Bad people who use religion do bad things in the name of that religion. It's not the religion. That's just an invisible energy. It means nothing. Paper that talks about biblical text years and years and thousands of years, it's got nothing to do with you here and now screaming at somebody, wanting to behead them or take their arms and legs off. No. It's because you want to. It's because you are the evil in this world, not the religion. So I don't use and I don't blame religion. I've come past that. I'm way ahead of this now. I see beyond this. This has got nothing to do with religion, pal. This is you being pure evil. And there's a lot of evil people in this world, and they jump into whatever protective energy they can to do their evil. This makes complete sense, because none of the religions, in my humble opinion, none of them want, like when you speak to scholars of whatever, the Quran, the Bible, every biblical text doesn't tell you to kill, doesn't tell you to chop arms and legs off. This is just interpretation of people that use, and I actually think that they've all been hijacked anyway. I think all religions have been hijacked by words, and I think people who are evil have put evil things into those words. And on a note of, when I say evil, I'm just saying devious, devious, slimy snakes that want to keep everything for themselves. So what can we say about crystals? Even though we know that we use them because we have them on our crowns, we go to certain people for information who work with crystals on staffs, and what we don't want the peasants, we don't want them to deal with crystals. So what do? We tell people that they're evil. We tell them that they don't touch crystals. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, only God can touch crystals. Only God. But if God commands you to make a breastplate with all of these crystals on, then that's okay. No, it can't be one or the other. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. If they're evil, then why would God command Moses or whoever it was to create the Aaron's breastplate? Why would that be? He commanded them to use crystals because he knew that by having these crystals close and closing your eyes and meditating, you will have a stronger connection to the spirit world. Of course, it makes sense. So there you go. Oh, but now we need to, we like everything that is true to humanity, that is pure, that is powerful, has been locked away with a key in a catacomb, whether it be religious practices, i.e. the Vatican, and all the other religious practices. They don't want the common peasants to know the truth and the power within prayer. I mean, they don't tell you what the real prayer is. And to be fair, it's been hijacked that much that their prayer is very different from what they do on a night when you're all gone. Their prayer is predominantly to go downstairs, and their real, not the one above where they're praying to God, but their real God that they pray to is well documented. It's down in the catacombs where the slabs are, where they do their ritualistic magic of culling, of the worst, eyes wide shut, and times it by 1,000. That's where it really happens. That's where they don't want you, of course they don't want you to know that, because for one, they'll get into trouble. But there is a force of evil that runs through all religions. That's why I've always felt that there was something wrong when I walked into a church or a synagogue or wherever it is. I've always felt something uneasy, and it felt like I'm being lied to. Like the beautiful building and the energy, that's for everybody. Ley lines are genuine. They build on ley lines. I've often mentioned that if you're in a huge cathedral, and if there's a dome, you will always find a cross on the floor. And that cross is normally where the ley lines meet, or where that center point, that cross is where the most energetic energy is. And that's normally where the priest is, where they're talking. But sometimes you'll find in cathedrals, if you look up, there's a dome. On that dome above you, if you look straight down, or if you stand right in the middle of the dome above you, and just close your eyes, you'll feel an energetic pull. You'll feel a frequency pulling you. And that's a very powerful energy. And that's what, if you're going to tell a lie, you're going to use the most powerful place to tell a lie, right? You're going to, like modern day lies are, if I'm going to tell a lie to you, I'm going to make it glitzy and glamour, and I'm going to have fireworks, and I'm going to share all sorts and make you all like, oh, this is amazing, and all the music, and because I'm trying to create the atmosphere so you believe. Well, that's very similar to religion. They're going to play the organ, which a lot of you, if you've studied it, you'll realize is all frequency anyway, energy, which was tied up to the frequency of the shape of the building of what's called church, which it was never called a church before. The church has been hijacked. If you know what church is, that's Circe, Kirk. It basically means come into my house and let me feed from you, let me eat you, let me take everything from you. That's what church means. It's all been hijacked. But prior to all of that, there was frequency, energy, and vibration, which I believe that's what these buildings were. I absolutely have always felt that in these buildings, but we only have a fraction of it now with, it's been hijacked. Everything's been hijacked. For sure, everything's been hijacked. And I think it's not lost. I don't believe in lost text. I believe that it's been hijacked. Everything is hijacked. And there are many people who have claimed and talked about there are parchments in below certain places like the Vatican that has information that has been hidden from us, because it's information that they don't want us to have. Because if we understand the universe, if we understand how the world works, how energy, frequency, and vibration works, if we know how to utilize that in a specific way as the ancient healers used to, then we become dangerous, because we'll take our power back. We'll be able to create power and energy and vibration. And they don't want that. They want you to be dumb. They want to take all that power. They want to use all that. They want to utilize it. And look what they did. They did a good job. Look what they've got. They've got one of the biggest mafia organizations in the world called the Vatican. Look at all the CEOs. Look at all of these corporate. They were all criminals. They were all criminals, the worst of the worst. You look at across the board of nearly every large corporation, pharmaceutical, criminals going back further than the Rockefellers, going back to all of the lies that they used to create something to make more wealth and more greed for themselves and more power, and to keep you and I as slaves. And when you become a healer, you break free from that, which I did. I broke free from the slave mentality, and I broke free from the little old me, poor me, and I started to work on myself, and I started to really start to feel, really start to listen, not to people outside, but within. I started to listen to my inner temple, my inner guide. And that guidance really helped me become more and more stronger in myself, which meant that strength gave me power to say, I'm not smelling this bullshit anymore. I'm not going anywhere near it. It's all crap. It's all brainwashing, just like, Christmas is bullshit. Oh, but Mark, the children. Yeah, I know all of that. I know this is the balance of life. We've got to, even though we know it's all hijacked, we still have to play a part in it. I know that it's difficult. Sometimes we get a little bit upset and we say we don't want nothing to do with anything. You realize, well, you can't, because look, you're on a microphone that's been created by these people, AI being created, purpose, but we have to skip and dance, and we have to be, more smart to use it in the correct way, and not like what I've been noticing in these past 3-4 weeks is the greater pull towards the total takeover of a single human being through a black screen. This morning I was sat watching a guy about my age, and I sat down and had some porridge down the road, and I watched this guy, from me sitting down having porridge and getting up and leaving. This guy, his face was completely in the black screen. He had no knowledge of what was happening around him. He was immersed in the black screen. It was like a hypnosis. He was hypnotized, and things were happening around him. And I was noticing all of these amazing little miracles and things happening around, like really beautiful things. Like I saw this beautiful bird land very close to him, and I thought, wow, that's a beautiful bird. I was trying to figure out, is that a chaffinch or is that a goldfinch? And I'm like, look, like it's so lucky to have that bird so close to him. It was just really close to him. And then it was like this little beautiful dog. About 10 minutes later, we're a gorgeous little dog. It jumped up to him, and he never even acknowledged this little beautiful dog. It was a beautiful white little tiny dog. No acknowledgement at all. He's just in his screen. And people were walking past trying to smile at him, because obviously I think somebody must have known him. I'm like, oh, that person must know him because he's smiling. But they ignored him because he wasn't even looking, so they didn't want to disturb him. What I noticed was there was a whole moment of, I would say 40 minutes of this man's life being eradicated, erased. There is no life. There's just death. There's just zombie. There's just negative. There's just nothing. This is zero. It's not doing anything for it. He's just emerged and just flicking his screen like this, looking at the next whatever it was he was looking at. And it was like, and I was waiting for him, and I got so bored because I was kind of watching him and watching the world. I'm like, I think I'm going to go now. And I got up and I enjoyed my time. And I'm like, well, you're emerged in watching him. So who's worse, you or him? I'm like, but I wanted to share that with you, just to say that the black screen has been ramped up. The frequency and energy is now, I'm not saying it's at its strongest, but if I was to say from 1 to 10, I would say that we are at round about 6 to 7 of an addiction that is in the frequency of your phone, and it's pulling you in and it wants you more. So I think, how do you judge that? I judge it by the time aspect. So how long will it take you to put your phone down and think about that phone and pick it up again? I think maybe a year, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, it was maybe you could put the phone down and have your dinner and have a chat and stuff and pick it up, like, you know, and as it slowly creeps, it's like now the phone is attached to everybody. It goes everywhere. It's with them 24/7, wherever they are. And they have to feel it's in reach. It has to be in reach, wherever it is. And I feel that even if somebody's having a chat, within that chat, there's a thought of the phone in that chat. So people can't even have a conversation now. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm noticing, I'm observing what's happening, and I'm seeing the frequency of the phone is becoming, and I think it's an alien, it's some kind of off-world energetic frequency that has been ramped up. And I think people are eventually going to be so attached to their phone that it's going to kill them to a degree. I think it's going to kill them. I think they're going to die, whether it's crossing the road, whether it's their anger and rage because, you know, the phone isn't close enough, and they're not being able to breathe or see the world. And I did say earlier on that if you're not actually doing something in your life, if you're just saying, I don't want anything to change, I just want to be in this world, that I just want to be like this, you're going to die. That's what I mean by dying. That's not living. And I think the black screen has actually created 95% of people not living. And of course they have to work, they have to do things, but I'm seeing the younger, I don't think it's you, I don't think it's I think it's the young kids. They're after the young kids. And this frequency of energy is attacking the young kids, and the young kids are, this is where it frightens me most of all. The young kids that are like 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, I think before long, we are absolutely going to be at the point where they don't want that. It's like, I don't want that phone, but not for the reasons that you think. I don't want that phone because it's too difficult, that it's everywhere. I have to pick it up and I have to look for it. I want it inside me. I want you to give me the chip. I want you to put it in me. I want to be part of it. I don't want to let it go. I want it in me. And I think kids, I actually believe that kids will queue up. They will want it. They will fight for it because of the frequency that it is, because of the addictive energy that it is. So that's kind of like where I am right now with that. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's kind of my thoughts. I don't know if you're able to. There's 98 people on, nobody's commenting, so I'm just wondering, have I done something wrong, guys? Are you not able to comment? Are you watching without commenting? Normally there's quite a few comments that come in. I've got one comment from one beautiful soul. Good day from Toronto. Is anybody else online? It says there's 102 people, but nobody's commenting. Have I done something wrong? Are you not able to comment as YouTube show comments on? Sure. Okay, so some people are like on my screen, there are no comments, so it doesn't allow it. Wow, It's not commenting on my side, but it is on here. Oh, well, that's good. At least I'm seeing everything that I see about my, whether it be Meta, whether it be Instagram, I'm seeing a complete hijack. It's almost like, I mean, I'm sure it's not Zuckerberg. He's just a puppet. But whatever the algorithms are, they're created to be like the devil, like an evil being that manipulates everything. So it messes with your mind, it kind of fools you and tricks you. And that's what I feel about all the apps that I work with now. And it's incredible how sophisticated it all is. Do I believe it's man-made? No. Do I believe it's made by an extraterrestrial force, which is not of love and kindness? Absolutely. I believe that everything that has been presented and given to us right now is of a frequency and energy. As a healer who speaks of frequency and energy and worked with energy for 2 decades, I can tell you this as a fact. The phone is changing your physical. It's changing your physical. Whatever is happening with that phone, earpods, changing your physical. It is manipulating your body, your mind to get ready for the next whatever it is. So back in the 80s, if I would have said to anybody, eventually you're going to have this thing in your hand and everybody's going to walk around with it and all they're going to do all day is look at it, we'd have all laughed. You'd have all laughed. You'd have said, what's wrong with you? You're crazy or something. What would you want to walk around with when we're out playing in the fields? We're playing football. We're playing at the park. We're busy doing things. What do you mean? We're all chatting and laughing, and yeah, something happened between then and now, and whatever it was sophisticated. We are predominantly rats in a lab, and we are being hijacked. What they are doing to us on a daily basis is very, very clever. It's so sophisticated that we don't see it. And some people can. Sometimes those who are in contact with their consciousness that basically should be the driving force of these bodies, I actually believe now that most people are not in contact with their consciousness because the hijack is so powerful. I think at one stage they realized that we had great power. And I think evil realized this, and evil said that this is getting out of hand. We need to change the structure. We need to change the DNA. We need to change every fiber of that spacesuit, because that spacesuit is so powerful with the connection of the spirit that lies within it that it will be guided and it can't be fooled. It can't be hijacked. What can we do? Well, we need to separate the consciousness from the bodysuit. How do we do that? We need to somehow hijack it. So how would you hijack it? Well, we need to change its frequency so that we can then create the frequency that we want, so then it can never speak to the consciousness, so that the consciousness lies dormant, so that we can take control of the bodysuit, and we can manipulate its vibration, its frequency, and its energy for our being, for our doing, for our life, for our food, for our everything that we want. So that's what I think's happened. And I think every now and again we'll wake up to it and we'll go, oh my God, I nearly fell for it again. I'm on that phone all day, and what's wrong with me? I need to put it down. But that's not happening with people now. I've noticed that connection's gone. How do they're starting to figure it out? Or we need to make them sick. We need to put something inside them so that their body's always in constant suffering. Okay, so what do? Well, we create a problem reaction solution all the time, as we always have done. Okay, what's the problem? Everybody's going to die. We'll have to give them the solution, which is the solution. What's in that solution? The solution is the solution. Don't you worry about it. Don't ask any questions. Yeah, but I want to know what's inside it. Show me what's inside it. Here, there you go. This is what's inside it. Nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, here's a burger. Have a burger. Have some chips as well. Burger and chips. This is great. Have some lollipops. There you go. Shut your mouth and have some lollipops. Now, so What next? There's always something else. We didn't get these lot. There's a few of them that are still out there who are not really compliant. They're not really buying into what we want, how we're changing them. So what do we do now? We'll figure it out. We'll figure another way out. We'll figure another way that will get them. You know, why don't we just like fly some planes and just pour it over them? Perfect. Well, let's call it geoengineering, because the sun's gonna, kill us all in 5 years. We're all gonna die in 5 years, and if we don't block that sun out, that's a great cover story. Let's start spraying them now. That's, yeah. And what about the food? Yeah, let's tell them that, like, this food is really bad, and we need to preserve this food. Well, no, you don't need to preserve it. We just need farmers locally so we can eat from our own farms and fields. That's not good. Then we'll have to say, well, you can't have your own farm and fields, and you can only have the food from another part of the world. My apples from another part, my oranges from another part of the world. What? Why? We've got tons of oranges here. My avocados come from where? What? We've got tons of avocados on you. You can't. Yeah, no. We're not gonna let them have them. But these avocados you can have, and yes, they come from far away, but they're preserved. And here we go. Problem, reaction, solution. Here's your preservative. So your fruit ends up really lovely for weeks and weeks, because we need to preserve it. Of course we do, because we have to send it from. Well, why are we sending it from? Why don't we just have it around the corner? There's thousands of fields with avocados. Why are they all falling on the floor and the farmers can't sell them? Well, because we're not letting you buy them. And we own all the corporations. We own all the 7-Elevens. We own all these big corporations. So they buy from what we sell. We sell them because we're selling poison. We're not selling health and well-being. We don't want you to buy apples from here. What do you want to buy apples from here for? That's healthy. We don't want you healthy. Listen, guys, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But ultimately, there's only you who can save yourself. There's only you who can save your family. There's only you who can save the world. Only you can do that by spreading this message, by saying, stop buying all this shit. Stop buying all this shit. Oh, but it's convenient. Well, then good luck. And the moment that you're lying down in a hospital bed and they're saying, I'm sorry, dear, we're going to have to start the chemo now. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do? I shoulda, woulda. Yeah. I've heard a saying about shoulda, coulda, shit on yourself. That's what they say. You coulda, coulda, shit on yourself. Like, too late, pal. Too late. And I've spent so many years as a healer trying to help people through that process. How many did I help? A handful. How many people came to, oh yeah, you're right. And then I don't see them again. And then they're poorly and they're sick. Well, did you follow the instructions? Did you listen to yourself? When you said you knew what I was saying, that you said you weren't going to do that anymore, you weren't going to continue eating that shite or that drinking that crap, or you said you were going to stop taking that poison stuff, that or them drugs or whatever it is. You said you were going to. I know I should have done. So what's happened? I've got cancer in the belly. I've got cancer in my chest and they can't get to it. And they said there's a small chance of survival. Don't you wish you would have done, this is in my head, don't you wish you'd have now done what the spirit world warned you through me? I gave you the message which was strong and said, stop doing this because it's going to stop you and you're not going to be able to, do anything. You'll be lying in a bed and you'll be wishing that you had. I could say that to the world right now. I could say it to nearly 95% of the world. I know I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't be doing it. I know I shouldn't be. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be buying off corporations. We should not be buying from these shops. We should not be. We should be hunting for families who have decided to take this world in their own hands and And like the farmers local, I go to 99% of my life is shopping at farms, local farms with organic. Yes, it's a difficult, it's a challenge. Well, I'd rather do that than have cancer. I'd rather do that, and I guarantee you 1 in 2 people are going to get cancer. From you to everybody else, 1 in 2 people are going to get cancer. You're 1 in 2. So what are you going to be? Are you going to be the one who gets it, or the 2 that says, up yours, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy organic and I'm going to heal my body every day and I'm going to work on myself and I'm not going to buy into any of this bullshit that the government and the system is telling me that I need to do. And I'm going to free myself and I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to be the master. I'm going to be the teacher. I'm going to be the pupil of my own life to create health and well-being, as well as work on my emotions, as well as work on my connection to my consciousness, to my physical body, which is all part of the healing process for you to eat healthy. You keep shoving processed foods into yourself. You keep doing all the alcohol. I've never heard one person ever say to me who was an alcoholic, you know what? Or not an alcoholic, but let's just say somebody who drinks a lot, okay? I've never heard one person ever say to me after them drinking and then stopped drinking and said to me, do you know what? I wish I'd have carried on drinking. I've never heard it once said. And I have worked with thousands of clients that drunk and said, you know what, I'm stopping. I'm not doing this no more. It's not good for my health. I've been sick. I have chest infections. I have issues with my mind. I have all sorts of problems with my physical. But I stopped drinking the beer. I stopped drinking the Guinness. I stopped drinking, and now I'm totally free of it. And I've never felt better. I'm stronger than I ever have. I can run for ages. I can exercise fantastic. My brain is strong, and I have great ideas and thoughts, and I feel good. Mind, body, and spirit. I feel great, and I'm healthy, and I wake up wonderful, and I sleep better. I'll just have another drink. Fuck it. I'll just have another drink. I'll just have another pint. I'll just have some more. Yeah, man. It's good stuff. Blitz. Just blitz me out. Yeah. All of that is because you're not happy. You're not happy because you know something is wrong inside you. Something is screaming to say this isn't the path. But the brain says, I don't know what to do. And it goes back to this default mode, like I just sleep on the couch and I'll just watch TV. It's like, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. And you are going into a direction of more and more sickness. You will physically become worse and worse. You will grow older faster. You will look older. So when you get to 60, you'll look 80. You'll look exhausted. Why? Because the body is screaming out for health. It's screaming out for the electrical frequency of natural, organic fruit and vegetables. It's screaming out for natural water, free from all the shit and all the poisons that are in there from people going to the toilet and taking medication, and then it goes back into the water system. So all you're doing is drinking frigging hormonal crappy crap and mixed with everything else what's in there that they like to shove in there. Oh yeah, it's good for your teeth though, guys. Good for your teeth though, guys. I mean, there's always an argument. There's always a counter argument, but that counter argument doesn't actually make sense. Okay, so yeah, the counter argument is actually fluoride in toothpaste is quite good, but children shouldn't really use it, because children don't really know how to spit it out. They swallow it. But, so we need to put it into water. No. You're not meant to be drinking it. It's a carcinogen. It's poison. It's going to cause lots of issues in the body. But it's good for the teeth. It's good for the teeth. So that's your argument, is it? It's good for your teeth. None of it. When you look at everything, you realize the world is all messed up. It's completely and utterly messed up. We believe anything. We believe anything the government tells you, which is all part of, like I said, it's all Rockefeller. It's all of the big liars that wanted to create money through poisons that they didn't know what to do with. That's basically what it is. They found this oil which is abundant all over the world, and there's tons of it. There's as much oil out there than there is water. Oh, but there isn't any water. We're in a drought. There's no water. There's no oil, everybody. It's nearly run out. Remember the 70s? It's all gone. It's all bollocks. It's all lies. It's all manipulate. Everything that you're told by the system is a lie. Oh, there's a disease coming. It's going to kill 500,000 people. Lies. Because they create all of this, and then oh, but people died. Yeah, but why did they die? Because they went to hospital and they all died because they were all sick. Yeah, funny how they all died in hospital. How many people died at home? Not many, right? Not many. No, that's got nothing to do with it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, Mr. Boyarsky. You're dangerous. Am I? You'll find that the most dangerous people aren't wearing tank tops. They're wearing white. And, the argument that this is all bullshit. When you talk about conspiracy, Mark, it's all bollocks. You're full of shit. Like, why? Why am I? Well, if it was all true, then, all these people in the army would come out and say it. You can't talk about military industrial complex. I mean, go shut up. How could they do that? That everybody were watching that. All these people, and you'd have to get hundreds of thousands of people involved. And surely everybody would say, like, just watch, just go and watch all of those photos of is it Guantanamo Bay? Remember when they got all them so-called terrorists, basically just grabbed anybody, and they put them all, and they were setting dogs on them. Remember that? Do you remember that? The dogs? Do you remember they were standing them up on boxes and they were electrocuting them? Do you remember that? Do you remember the piling all the bodies, naked bodies, and all the women? The women in the military were taking photos like this, and the men, all men like this. They were like, and you're telling me that they would let me tell you something. It's nothing to do with the military. It's to do with evil people. Evil people can be anywhere. They can be in the military, they can be in church, they can be in CEOs, they can be in any walk of life. They can be in the heads of state, they can be in the White House, they can be in Parliament, they can be the whips and the lords, they can be a nurse, they can be a doctor. It's got nothing to do with the position of the clothes. It's to do with evil inside the body that they're serving, whatever job they're in. You are either evil coming from a world which is a dark spirit world that will do evil and want to do evil and love to do evil and to be protected from doing that evil, which what I've just said to you is most high positions are protected by the very satanic energy that runs through every single position in every single, whether it be Mossad, whether it be the Scotland Yard, the highest, but they're all protected in the churches, the Vatican, they're all protected, all of them, which means that this is where they want to be. They need to be protected while they're doing their pedophilia. They're doing their worst things that they can do to humanity. They want to do it. They crave to do it. Look at that. Just look at what I've just said. Look at a few years ago when they just wanted to hurt people. They want and like I even remember the time when this is how they work it, whether it's I don't know. I mean, it's all bollocks. Everything is bollocks when it comes to them showing you oversight committees, and it's all bullshit, right? And they're saying, well, yes, they did some bad stuff. It wasn't very good, but that was torture, right? Oh, no, it wasn't torture. No, that was just abuse. What? Yeah, you need to. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I'm not talking about that because you're bringing up something that's not correct. What? That I said that they tortured them. and you're saying you don't want to talk about it because I said it was torture, but you're saying it's abuse. Are you off your rocker? No, not at all. He knows exactly what he's saying and exactly what he's doing. And it's all about protecting evil. It's about protecting a frequency and energy that we can only name as satanic in nature. Evil to its core. And evil is not what people do, it's what people are. It's what people are. Because when you say it's what people do, it means that anybody can do it. But you wouldn't do it because you come from a beautiful world called the spirit world that want to care, help, and do your best that everybody's happy, nobody's upset, nobody's in pain, nobody's starving. All you want to do is the world to be happy. That's all you want. That is who your spirit is. What I talk about is that this world is riddled with a virus energy, which is called a spirit. And it's a dark spirit that resides within these bodies that can take any position in the world. And they've infiltrated those positions to do the worst harm. No, don't say you're a priest. You're not a priest. You're a pedophile. There's a difference. No, I'm a priest. I'm wearing the clothes. No. Your actions speak louder than what you're wearing. You are not hiding behind your cloth. I am a military guy and what I say and do. No, you're not. You're an evil. You're evil to your core. You are an evil soul, an evil spirit. What you're doing to humanity is terrible. You see what I mean? So when you realize that the whole world is hijacked, the whole world has been hoodwinked, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all to make you think that there's good and bad people in this world, but we're all the same because we're made out of God's vision and God's creation. It's got nothing to do with this. We need to know who you are by your actions. That's all that matters. I know you by your actions. That's how I know you. I don't care what medals you've got on. I don't care how much whatever you've done to get your global awards. I don't care how big your company is that says that you are the ones that control the world by giving your information. None of that means nothing to me. You mean nothing to me. You are irrelevant in my life. I take no guidance from anybody. My guidance comes from myself, and thus you become dangerous. And thus you get 100 people on your podcasts when you have 190,000 followers. You are dangerous because you are not promoting something that this world wants you to promote, that this these evil spirits that reside in these bodies that control everything that we see. And it's bigger than a Musk. It's bigger than a Zuckerberg. It's bigger than a Bill Gates. All of them have just put there to make you hate them. And this evil energy wants you to do that. So you're focused on the wrong thing. And we have to break free from that. We have to break free from this idea that we're hunting for one person. When Bill Gates is dead, everything changes. No, it doesn't. There's 100 others who are just like drug dealers who are waiting on the street. The criminals are waiting for that guy to be killed, to be knocked off so that they can take over. Because this is about individual evil souls that know exactly what they're doing, just like you know exactly what you're doing. What you're doing is you're here to be kind, to be caring, to be loving, to be creative, to help, to heal, to work on yourself, to just make a difference in the world, just to be happy, just to find peace, ultimately. That's, you know your job. You know why you're here, but you've been hijacked. You've been hijacked every day, so you don't feel and don't listen. You don't follow your guidance. You follow this screen, this black screen. We come back to the black screen again. The black screen is taking over all of us. So we just look at that and we waste our life. So then evil just laughs at us and smiles and says, these guys are so easily hypnotized. Don't be hypnotized, guys. Love you all. Have a great day. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight on Sheep Farm Podcast. I'll be on there hopefully at 8 o'clock Spain time, and we'll move on and have a chat then. So thanks for joining me. I'm sorry I can't see the chat, but I think they might be. And please don't take this negative. I share these thoughts so that you can walk away, think about them. Yeah, you can say the full. This is all bullshit, Mark. It's all depressing. You're right. Have your high vibe, be strong, but hopefully you might get one thing and think, "Ooh, I remember that. I remember that one thing, and it's going to help me." And I hope to share that with you. I don't share fear. I just share what I see as truth, that we don't slip. And I speak for myself. I speak for me when I speak to you. As much as I've realized as a psychic reader, when I read these cards, sometimes I realize, wow, that message is for you. So this message is as much for me. I am not the teacher. I'm not the message. I feel as if I'm just maybe a messenger of what I pick up on, and I share it with you out of love and nothing more than that. I don't want you to be upset. I don't want you to be sick. I don't want you to be angry. I don't want you to be down and depressed. I don't want you to think the whole world's against you and everybody's bad. I want you to know that there is bad in this world, that there is darkness, and I don't want you to be fooled by them. I don't want you to be hypnotized by the phone, and I don't want to. So it's a lesson for me as well. I did a video with Iconic. Oh, he's a shill now. He's a shill. He's a gatekeeper. I ain't a gatekeeper, but actually, let's talk about that before I go. What is a gatekeeper? Let's just say that you have a thought, okay? And your thought is that, say, you might say, I like Jesus, okay? And you talk about Jesus. Well, what about other religions? Aren't you a gatekeeper for other religions? So what I talk about is the spirit world. What David Icke talks about is the light trap. And I would say, well, he could be a gatekeeper for the truth about the light trap. And that could, very possible. We don't know until we go. And will we ever know? My question is, why did we come here in the first place if we knew that there was a light trap? Wouldn't we have known there was a light trap? Wouldn't we have known because we're all seeing, all knowing from the spirit world? I don't know, but I just know one thing. When I finished healing somebody, after they're moving into the light and they're free and they've gone, and a week later I'll read and I feel the spirit. I feel the spirit of, like, say, up on the wall. I remember quite clearly feeling Penelope come through and giving me a message, which was beautiful, and I shared it with Cecilia, and she's moved into the light. Okay, well, how is it that she moved into the light? When I think, like, how is it that some don't and some do? Because she never read up about the light trap. She never knew, like, so, I struggle, and I've never read Davy's books, so I don't know. So I'm just paraphrasing, and I could be completely wrong. But what I know about what I know about death, which there's no such thing as death, you don't die. That this transition is so beautiful. The room fills with great energy for me when normally when in the room, and then they move out of their body, and their family and the spirit are waiting for them. There is no feeling of demonic, or else I would have known. I can feel the difference, unless somebody can say to me, actually, Mark, demonic can actually fool themselves and come with a different energy of love. Like, all right, well, when for 20 years of healing people who have come with attachment, have come with real bad demonic energy, you feel it. You feel that energy is completely different. Your client feels it. Your client is in pain, in suffering. I have had trapped spirit, which isn't half as bad. And trapped spirit still takes over your body, and you feel this fear and worry because you feel like you're being taken over. You feel there's a frequency which is really, really different. If you're in a room when your family and spirit comes and they work through you, it's the most beautiful feeling in the world. Have I ever had a demonic energy come and through me and make me feel good? Never. So my position, my understanding is through experience. I can speak through experience. I've done it 20 years. And if it would have been the other way around and the light was a trap, I would say, yes, I completely agree with what he said. I would agree if it was that way. But because I disagree, then I'm hated by a lot of people who love David Icke, which was a real kick in the ass for them when they saw me with a picture of David holding his book and David holding my book. That really pissed them off. And then people now don't know what to do, which made me chuckle. But like I say, I don't know David. I only met him once. I've only met him the once, and we sat and I just listened to him talk, and all he talked about is, you know what, we need to stop this. This is the final moment. People don't understand about what digital AI like. Yeah, I get it all. And that was it. I didn't feel a gatekeeper. The fuck, what are you talking about, gatekeeper? The guy's done nothing but talk about the things that have helped people see beyond the program. Oh, but he's a gatekeeper because he doesn't go down the full path. Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's his limit. Maybe he doesn't go further than what you want him to do. So maybe you should take over that, and that's your position then to help people even further. I have people talk to me about healing, you know, and I've sat with people, literally, I sat with a woman last week, and she was telling me that, she said, you're dangerous. And I'm like, why? She says, because you don't fully understand healing. And I'm like, really? What is it I don't understand? You don't understand how to close, to shut down, to it's basically when you start the process, you start and then you have to close it all down. So it ends up, so it's a start and an end. And I didn't ask for you know, full disclosure, because she wasn't willing to share that, because she wanted pain for that. And I thought that was interesting. She wanted, you know, do you want a session? So I will spend a few hours, and, you know, it'll be like 300 or 400, 500 euros for this information, and I'll show you what to do. I'm like, actually, I'm all right. And actually, I've never had a client saying I'm dangerous. Only once. Only happened once. Only once it happened. And I think that was because they wanted me to stop. I'll tell you what happened. A lady came to me, and lovely lady, lovely. She came to me and I gave her a healing session, and she was in the army. And after I finished the healing session, she called me about an hour later, and she says, Mark, what you've just done, I think is dangerous. I said, why? She says, I was driving across the top of this mountain, she said, and for one moment, I just wanted to drive off the edge. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, really? Really, really upset me. I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should stop. And I'm saying, I'm so sorry about that. Although she didn't drive off the edge, right? If she drove off the edge, then maybe I think I would have stopped. But the reason why she said that is because she did not know what to do with the emotion that healing had just happened. She was just in a bad state. Anyway, it ended up a couple of weeks later, she came back. She said, I've never felt as good in my life. I faced what I needed to face. I realized I was an alcoholic. I realized she was telling me many things. And then I've changed my life. She had a new haircut. She was wearing beautiful women's clothes. Normally she looked like a bloke. And she just completely changed. And to this day, whenever I see her, she said, you changed my life from that healing session. So I said to the lady down below, I think I'm all right, because I don't think I did anything dangerous to anybody. And I didn't close. I cleansed and cleared at the end, as I do, and spray a little bit, and then wait till they get up, and then give them a cuddle, and then let them figure things out for themselves. Oh no, that's all dangerous. Oh, there's always telling you it's dangerous. There are always these spiritual people who are telling you that it's dangerous, and if you don't listen to them and do what they say, then you've got it wrong and you're dangerous. If you're a healer, guys, you'll meet them. If you start in healing, you will meet them. And they're the dangerous ones. Be aware of that. Healing is very natural. Cuddle is healing. Holding somebody's hand is healing. Being kind by nature. If you are a good soul, you are a healer. you're already a healer. If you come from my spirit world, you're already a healer. The worst that can happen to you is that you feel bad because of what the world does to you, what this evil world tries to do to you. That's what makes you feel bad, right? They try to stop you from being who you are. There is no incentive to help you become the person that you were born to be. They don't want you to know that. They want to stick you in a school, and they want to divert you from everything that you are. They want you. They do not want you. They don't want to watch you and say, oh, Jimmy's really good at football, or Sarah's really spiritual and kind, and we need to, and she's good at this. And like, no. They just want to brainwash you, limit you, tell you what you need to think, tell you what you need to feel. That's what this world does. It's a prison, and it doesn't want them. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. And if you listen to many of those that are in a frequency and energy of themselves, and they are connected, and they feel, and they are connected to the universe, they're connected to their spirit world, they're connected to other worlds, you will always hear that if there is ever a time that somebody meets a spirit, if anybody meets an extraterrestrial of the good energy, it's always said, you have no idea of how powerful you are. And I've said that from day one of being a healer, because I felt the power within you when you sat in front of me. I felt your power. I felt your genius. I felt your individuality. I felt your creation. I felt your spirit, your soul. I felt who you are. And I'm like, wow, you are powerful. And people used to look at me and say, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you need to break free from that. You need to stop saying that. You need to break free and know who you are. I wish you a lovely day, guys. Maybe you might want to go over to Iconic, but Iconic is on a paywall, so if you can't afford, there's not much I can do about that. But if Iconic is actually, I bought Iconic the other week, and I was watching it, and there's some really good stuff on there. There's some really interesting stuff. So it might be something that you're interested in, and if you are, it's on today's show. It's called Bring the Fire with Mark Bayerski. Basically, it's me talking about the start of my spiritual path journey from Huddersfield to here and all the in between. We talked about Moldavite, we talked about crystals, we talked about many things, and I really enjoyed it. And it's on there now, so maybe tomorrow I'll watch it and see. I'll get embarrassed and just watch myself making mistakes as I usually do, but it's fine. At least I am who I am, or I might not watch it at all. But anyway, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 4 hours' time, all being well, Dominic will send me a link from Sheep Farm, and I hope to see you there for a lovely chat. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you so much.